A threatening message forced it to be moved to another city, and tonight extra security is on hand for the EKU football game.
She is very shaken up at the moment. She can't hardly talk.
A frightening morning for a Lexington woman. How her husband says she scared off someone who broke into their home.
WKYT investigates months after a devastating flash flood how new floodplain maps are helping people in Johnson County decide where to rebuild.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
Good evening to you. Within the last hour, eastbound Interstate 64 has reopened in Montgomery County after a deadly crash shut it down this afternoon.
Investigators say a woman lost control of her car, slid sideways, and crashed into a tractor trailer parked on the side of I64 near mile marker 111 in Mount Sterling. Police say the truck driver had pulled over to check his refrigerant. They say the woman died at the scene. The eastbound lanes of I64 were closed for nearly 2 hours.
A big impact on traffic because I was in Lexington at the time, and coming back it was backed up, for several miles. Obviously I got to thank the Mount Sterling Police Department because they assisted us in rerouting the traffic through town. Without that, it probably been backed up all the way to Fayette County to Lexington.
Police say the victim's sister was also in the car. She was airlifted to UK Hospital with serious injuries. The driver of the truck was not hurt. Police cleared the scene about half an hour ago. Tonight, EKU leaders say they're interviewing persons of interest as they try to figure out who's responsible for a threatening message found on campus.
The university canceled classes for the rest of the week and moved tonight's EKU football game to Georgetown College, and there's extra security on hand for that game. Garrett Weimer is live for us in Georgetown with our top story at 6. Garrett?
There's a heavy police presence out here now, several different agencies out and about. We've even seen a K9 unit out here checking cars, but don't let the orange you see around the field here fool you. It's less than an hour now until EKU plays a home game here at Toyota Stadium in Georgetown.
I go to about every game, and I'm not going to miss one for any reason.
Some fans showed up nearly 4 hours early, trying to make it a home game away from home.
We're going to make it their home stadium today, so it's going to be fun. We're going to fill this place up.
It's important just to show that we're one family, one university still. Just trying to come out and support them because they've been playing real well.
Fans were ready, and so was security. We're told extra security measures will be put in place for the game. EKU President Michael Benson spoke to us this afternoon on campus. He says he hopes for a big crowd here tonight.
Sports, of course, is in many ways a microcosm of a campus and a society. And these young men represent the university, the team represents EKU, and we're pulling for them, just like we're pulling for our campus.
Now, administrators recognize moving the team's home game here is tough, and they have called for a blackout tonight, so they say they hope to see a lot of black in the stands here supporting the EKU Colonels. Live in Georgetown, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Garrett, thank you. No arrests have been made in connection to the threat, but EKU is offering a $10,000 reward in the case. Police say they'll continue extra patrols on the EKU campus while students are away for fall break.
It started with a knock at the door that a Lexington woman didn't answer. Moments later, she says she heard someone breaking into her home. But thanks to some quick thinking, she managed to scare off the burglar. This happened in the Andover neighborhood. Sam Smith talks to the woman's husband, new at 6.
And she heard banging on the door and the doorbell ring several times.
Jeffrey Hounshell's wife was home alone this morning around 11 o'clock. She didn't answer the door when she saw a stranger standing on her porch. That man was seemingly checking to see if anyone was home.
The next thing she knows, she hears a loud bang down in the basement, and she hears someone in the house.
The back door was kicked in. His wife was already on the phone. She called 911 before scaring off the burglar.
They're saying, "Get out of my house, I have a gun." At that point, when she turned the corner, she saw him standing there, and he took off down the basement and ran.
He says nothing in the house was taken, but most importantly, his wife is okay.
My wife works out of the house, and so she's here during the day, and luckily she wasn't hurt during the process. So I think she caught him before he got his chance to get to the good stuff anyway. So.
Police and neighbors say there haven't been home break-ins like this recently in the neighborhood. Honcho says the back door of the house will be fixed, and he wants to see someone answer for this.
Hope they get him.
In Lexington, Sam Smith, WKYT.
Witnesses say they saw the burglar leave in a small light blue Ford model car.
It looks like the stretch of great fall weather that we've had this week is about to come to an end. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey is tracking some changes heading our way, but it's a brief change, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's going to usher in another round of some nice air. It's just a little speed bump, we're calling it, for our Friday. But you got to give it up to the sunsets that we've had out there for the past several days. Not quite to sunset time just yet, but look at this western skyline in Lexington. Our WKYT live sky cam as of now. Some clouds are moving in, but beautiful rays filtering through the clouds. Those clouds, though, a sign of change, working in from the northwest. That's a cold front, and it arrives on Friday. And just ahead of that now, starting to pick up on a band of some scattered showers, thunderstorms. That's still well to the west and northwest of Kentucky. Around here, just some of those clouds that we've been showing you on our sky cams from across the entire area, especially central and northern parts of the state, with that high pressure that has been in control of our weather across the southeastern seaboard, getting ready to get shoved out of the way. And replacing it will be some Friday showers that blow in on a gusty wind coming eventually from the northwest. And that's a cooler and even chilly wind that takes us into the weekend. Start of the weekend is chilly. We'll mild it up a little bit on Sunday, but overall, after we get through tomorrow, the weather looks pretty darn good for the weekend. An hour-by-hour forecast comes your way in less than 10 minutes.
Some new details have emerged about allegations against the University of Louisville men's basketball program.
A former recruit and a former player are both talking about claims that a former U of L staffer hired escorts to have sex with recruits. Rob Bromley joins us now with the latest. Rob.
Well, it has been breaking news today in the Louisville basketball scandal. A former Louisville recruit, Jaquan Lyle, reportedly confirmed the basic gist of what appears in the book, Breaking Cardinal Rules, Basketball and the Escort Queen. U of L President James Ramsey put out a statement on the situation today. He asked for patience. He was supportive of Athletic Director Tom Jurich, but said nothing of Coach Rick Pitino. Here's the statement from Ramsey. For the past 18 years, Tom Jurich has served as athletic director of an exemplary program at U of L. I fully support Tom as we work to identify the facts in this situation, and that is what we are doing. Tom and I are committed to the values that are fundamental to the success of Cardinal athletics. Now, Pitino reacted on the Terry Miner Show on WHAS Radio within the last half hour.
So I don't know what resigning would accomplish. I think that's the cowardly way out. If I resign now without coaching 250th seniors and the people that came to play for me, what does it do for the program if the head coach just runs away? I mean, you know, I don't understand why you ask me that.
Rick Pitino said the facts are still being gathered. He had said he has spoken with Andre McGee, the former U of L basketball staffer who is involved in the investigation.
Thank you, Rob. The scandal broke last Friday. Athletics Director Tom Jurich has not commented today.
Next week will mark 3 months since the devastating flash floods in Johnson County. 4 people died and about 10 miles of homes were damaged or destroyed. Now FEMA has released new flood zone maps for that area. Investigative reporter Miranda Combs went back to Johnson County to see if people in the floodplain are staying or leaving.
Sowing seed like this is typically the end of a lot of hard work, not unusual in the fall. But what happened here 3 months ago was anything but usual. In fact, it was historic.
Oh my God, it's going to hit our house too. Oh, they can't get out. Oh, you know they're scared to death. Oh my God. Oh Lord Jesus, please be with these people in us.
The area we're standing in right now, we would have been completely underwater.
3 months later, you can still see the water line on top of this roof. Willard Burton oversees Johnson County's floodplain management, and right now the focus is on cleaning up the worst flood they'd ever seen.
They use the term historic, things that have never happened in this area. It may never see it again, you know, and it may happen tomorrow.
With hopes that it won't be tomorrow, contractors have made progress in the past few months, cleaning up and cleaning out the creek, burning trash and dumping pieces of memories.
They're living where their parents lived, where their grandparents lived.
Burton says it's not about finances, it's about family.
They have one of two options. They rebuild where they're at, meet the requirements of the ordinance, or they look to purchase property somewhere else.
County officials say it is okay to rebuild in a flood zone as long as you follow county ordinances, one being that your living space has to be so far off the ground like this home right here. Interesting though, just a few months ago, this trailer park was full of homes, and so far only 2 have returned.
The people are more educated now. It's sad to say, but it took something like this. People, the number of phone calls that I get wanting to know information, wanting to know if they're in a flood zone because they've never worried about it before.
Not prompted, we're told, by this flood, but a new flood zone map was just released last month. These maps, we're told, take years to make. Burton says the last one they had to go by was made in the 80s.
The new maps have aerial photos overlaid onto them, so you can actually look at the floodplain map and look at the flood zone, and you can actually pick out homes, trees, roads, intersections.
Were people pushing the envelope before the flood, living in a flood zone and not following the ordinances?
There are probably a few people out there that they inherited the place from their mom and dad, they inherited it from their parents, and it ends up being in a flood zone even prior to the time, being built prior to the time that there was even a flood map.
He says it's different here now. The neighborhoods that dotted this street are quiet, and he thinks even though ordinances here make exceptions for floodplains, what happened here in July was too much to start over for most.
Will most stay and rebuild? Are they rebuilding? Where are we?
In just my opinion in talking, I think that most won't. Most of them have cleaned up their lot, and that's all they've done.
Residents who haven't registered for assistance from FEMA have until Monday, October 12th, to do so, so that's just a few days away. In regard to the cleanup efforts you just saw, they expect to be done, guys, in a couple of months.
It's pretty incredible, Miranda, having seen all of this damage, that they were actually able to clean up so fast.
And they did get federal funding, so they've had contractors in, and they've split up the work, as you saw there, and they're really moving along quickly.
Still work to be done. Thanks, Miranda. Well, it appears Lexington city leaders were warned about traffic problems before the Luke Bryan concert. But the president of one neighborhood association says she told the city. Next.